it's Melissa and welcome back to my channel. It's been quite some time since I have filmed or put any type of content up, but I was feeling inspired today and I decided to sit down, turn my camera on and film a little tutorial for you, wanting to use some fun colors and kind of get back into the swing of the YouTube world. If you are an old subscriber of mine, I am sorry I've been MIA for a while, so just want to say I am back. I'm going to try to put up content as frequently as I can, and if you happen to stumble across my channel and like what you see, then I request that you hit that subscribe button. And the YouTube world has changed drastically since I last posted, so I think you have to hit a notification bell and get my notifications, that way you know when I upload. Because I have no type of schedule at this point since I'm just getting back into the swing of things, I do request that you do that so you are notified of whenever it is that I do decide to upload again. Maybe next week, we'll see, I don't know. Alright, so I'm barefaced. I did my eyebrows. I used the L'Oreal Brow Stylist Definer, and this is in the shade, what shade are you? Brunette. I've been liking these. I have this in 2 shades, so I like these. It's pretty comparable, I would say, to the Anastasia Beverly Hills. And so that's all that I have done at this point. I wanted to do a fun, colorful look today, and I'm going to be using the Juvias Plays the Masquerade Mini Palette. This is a really fun palette. I do like this palette a lot. I've used this a couple times. You can see down here you have some neutral shades, and up here you have some really fun pops of color, which I really enjoy. So I've used this palette a few times, but I don't think I've ever used this green shade here, which is what I think I'm going to use today. So I'm going to zoom you guys in closer to my eyes because we're going to start there. Because these are super pigmented shadows, there can be a little bit of fallout on them. So I just want to start with my eyes. So let's get to it. Okay, we are zoomed in super close so you can get right up in and personal as to what I'm doing. Please ignore the brow hairs. I am growing them out, so there are wily hairs everywhere. To start my look, I'm going to prime my lids using the MAC Soft Ochre Paint Pot, and then this is just a Morphe synthetic brush. There's no number on it or anything. It was from a kit that I got, and I'm just taking a little bit of that and I'm going to apply it all over the lid from the lash line all the way up to the brow bone. This is just going to cancel out any discoloration. Like you can see, it looks really yellow here, but it's just going to cancel out any discoloration, any veins on the lid, so that you have a clean surface to work with. So you can see the difference between the two. To start this eye look, I'm going to go in with the shade Cairo. And although it has a little bit of shimmer in it, when I use it in the crease, it actually buffs the shimmer out and doesn't show that much. I've used this in my crease before and really like it. So I'm going to take that shade on a Sigma E35 brush, just a little bit, and I'm going to start to lightly, because these are so pigmented, lightly blend this into my crease. And I'm holding down at the base of my brush and just really, really gently starting to, I mean, you can see the pigmentation there. Starting to blend this into the crease. You can always build up, but it's really hard to take color away. So that's why I always say start really lightly, and I'm doing circular motions to just blend it out and fade it out. Next, I'm going to do a shrink down to a smaller brush. I'm going to go in with the Sigma E25 brush. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit more tapered, and I'm going to go into the shade Zobo. It's this magenta-y purple type shade. We're going in for some colors today. And I'm going to take this lower than that shade, a little bit more into the crease, starting off with a very light hand. These colors are just so pretty together. This is that whole, what's really popular right now with a lot of palettes. They're giving you these purple, these warm tone purples and mixing them with these coral colors. And it's such an inspiration from nature. I think the best place to look for color inspiration is in nature. They'll show you things that are together, but you don't necessarily think of them as being together. And something like the warm purples and the warm coral or orange colors, they just pair so beautifully, just in a beautiful sunset. And that's a big color combination that's happening in makeup today, and I'm sure it'll change over. you know, I think now as we start to get into the cooler seasons, once summer ends, we'll start to go into the cooler tones. I'm just taking a little bit of that Cairo shade again, just a little bit to buff out the edges there. Those colors just work so beautifully together. What I'm going to do next, I actually started to apply the green shade, but then remembered I had a green base, and so I wanted to put this under it. This is the Maybelline Color Tattoos. Do people use these anymore? I never see them get used. I have a couple in my drawers, so I'm trying to use them up. This is the Color Tattoo in the shade Edgy Emerald. It's just a really pretty green shade. You could use a white if you want to. I know the NYX has a jumbo pencil in the shade Milk, would be really good too. It just helps the colors underneath stick a little bit better, and it also helps to give them a little bit more of a pop. You could cut the crease if you want to. I'm not terribly good at that. It's not a technique I've been practicing, but I'm not that great at it, so I'm just brushing this casually onto the lid and just spreading it just like that, and it's just going to make that green shade pop a little bit more. Now on a flat shader brush, it's a little bit fluffier than the last one I used. It's just a packing brush. I'm going to go into that green shade Mally, and I'm going to coat my brush up real heavily, and I'm just going to start to press that onto where I laid that cream eyeshadow base, and it's just really making it pop. You can see the more of the it's metallic looking on this eye. It pops a little bit more than just the cream base by itself, and more than it would just on its own. So I'm just pressing that all over the base there. I'm going to take a smaller brush. I want to go into that crease and deepen it up a little bit. I think I'm actually going to take, I think this is a Morphe brush. This is a Morphe 321. It's pretty much like a pencil brush, a little bit thicker than that. And I'm going to go into the shade Macadea. It's this deep purple. Again, it's shimmery, but once it's blended into the crease, it doesn't really show like that. And I'm going to run this along kind of the edge there and blend that in, and that's going to be not all the way into the inner corner, but pretty far into it. And then kind of blend it up a little bit so it's not looking so harsh. This is pulling a bit more blue than it is purple, which is okay. I'm going to go back in with the Sigma E25, yeah. And I'm going to go into that Zobo shade again to just blend that even more. And you can see now we're going from that deep purple to the magenta to the orange. And it's a very colorful eye. I mean, there is no holding back on this look today. One more time, we're gonna take the Sigma E40 with that shade Cairo just to blend that out again. It's all about blending. It's all about seamlessly making those colors go from one to the other and just looking like the perfect fade. I'm going to take my Wet n Wild shadow that I used initially, Creme Brulee, or not Creme Brulee, just Brulee. And I'm going to take that again on a flat shader brush, and I'm just going to run this along the edge here to clean it up a little bit and to kind of highlight under the brow bone. All right, I'm going to zoom you guys out and we'll do the rest of the face, and then maybe we'll zoom back in for the lower lash line. I'm going to take a primer. Right now, what am I working through? I'm working through the Pure Corrective or Correcting Primer. It's Hydrate and Balance. Just give a little extra moisture to the skin. It comes out, it's clear. Well, it's like a blue, but it's pretty much clear. And I'm just going to put this all over my face to give some hydration back into it. If you are wondering what's on my nails, it is the KL Polish new summer collection in Havana Heat. I will link that down below. I'm not an affiliate. I am not an affiliate to anyone, but I really love the collection. Couldn't decide what color to wear, so I wore them all. I'm going to take the Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. This is in the shade Brightener. I'm gonna dab a little bit of this under my eyes just to kind of help with some of those little dark circles we have going on there. And just a little bit, this isn't for highlighting, this is to just erase those dark circles. And I'm just dabbing this with my finger. I just like to press this in with my finger. I don't want to use the beauty blender or any type of sponge on this part just because I want this product to be there and I want it to do its job of correcting the underneath. And then for foundation today, I'm going to go with the Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I wear this in the shade Vanilla. I love this foundation. This is a tried and true for me. I'm gonna do a couple pumps on the butt end of my Flower Beauty sponge. Concealer, I'm going to go in with the Wet n Wild, I just think it's called concealer, Photo Focus Concealer. I have this in the shade, what are you? Light Ivory. And I'm going to do a little bit of this under the eye as well. When you use a foundation, it really flattens your face out. So you want to bring the dimension, as everyone says, back into the face. But you want to bring back the planes of your face. You want to, you know, our faces aren't naturally just one color. So when you do foundation, it cancels everything out. And so it makes your face look really flat. So by adding highlight or contour, bronze or blush, it just brings back some actual life back into the face. I'm going to set my face. I'm using the Too Faced Peach Perfect powder. And I'm gonna mix that actually with the, in here is this powder down here, because the Peach Perfect's very, very pink, very peachy, even though it's a translucent. I'm gonna mix it a little bit with the MAC Pro Emphasize, which is a white, essentially. And I'm just taking this on this type of brush. This is the Morphe M438. Not my favorite brush, but it's what I had in front of me. So I'm just taking a little bit of the peach and a little bit of that MAC Pro Emphasize, and I'm just going to tap it under here. I don't like to bake. You can see that I struggle with my under eyes, and let me know down below if you have any suggestions on what I can do. I have to set the under eye powder, or I have to set the under eye concealer because I'll get creases if I don't, but every powder that I have used tends to make it look dry and older looking, and I don't love that. No one wants to look dry and older. So I don't know what to do about it. And I'm just setting some other key places, my smile lines here. To contour my face, I'm going to take the Hoola bronzer. That's this bronzer right here. I had purchased a bunch of the Benefit blushes as a box set, and I depotted them. Like at Christmas time, they always do, or holiday time, they always do these box sets, and the box is really bulky, so I took them all out, which damaged a bunch of them. So if you're going to do that this holiday season, I would recommend you be very careful about it. This is an Eco Tools brush. It looks like this. It's really kind of tulip shaped brush, and I really like it. And I'm going to go along the hollows of my cheeks here to, again, bring some life back into the face. For blush, I'm actually going to use the same brush that I just used, and when I don't know what color blush to use, I use Max Melba. I love this blush. I am so glad I picked it up. It is just a beautiful flush of color. It's almost just like a natural flush, and I absolutely love it. It's the only MAC blush I own, and I just really adore the color of it. It works with cool tone looks. It works with warm tone looks. I just really love it as a blush color. And I'm gonna zoom you guys in. Let's go into the under eye. Okay, we're back, up close and personal. For my under eye, I wanna play off that purple a little bit in the waterline, and I'm going to take, this is an Almay eyeliner. I've had this for a really long time. I probably shouldn't have it anymore, but it is in this shade. What does it say? It just says Purple Amethyst 001. I really love this purple. I've used this so much and I just have really enjoyed it. It's a really pretty purple. But any purple eyeliner that you have will do. Let me make sure I'm getting frame here. That's really gross. And I'm just lining the waterline with that. To set that color, I'm going to go in with a push type of brush. This is actually a brush that I got at Michael's. It's just a thin kind of push brush there. And I'm going to take that Makita, that deep purple we used in the crease, and I'm just going to press that right up onto it. And it'll set that liner and also just bring it down just a little bit further. Now what I'm going to do, I want to ground this look a little bit. It's really bright and colorful, which is amazing, but I just want to kind of, like I said, ground it a little bit. So what I'm going to take is a brown shade in this palette. I'm going to take the shade Burkina. If I'm saying these so awfully wrong, please forgive me. And I'm going to run that on the lower lash line. This is on a Morphe, what are you, E18. I'm just taking a small little pencil brush and I'm going to take the highlight shade in here, Giza, and I'm popping that in the inner corner to brighten it up. Is your finished look. I really like the way it turned out. I'm really glad I sat down and filmed this. I love the color gradient. I love that it's a bright pop of green. When you wear big lashes like this, oh, these are the, they're not the Serenes. I thought they were. These are the Allura Lights from House of Lashes. I love the Serenes as well, but I'm out of those. So these are the Allura Lights and I really like these. They kind of hide the green a little bit so that when you look down then you see the pop of it, and I just think it looks really, really beautiful. I really like this palette. If you haven't tried anything from Juvia's Place, they have a bunch of different types of palettes, neutral ones. I enjoy this one because you do get this mix of the neutral shades with some nice pops of color, and they're really great at the pops of color. They do color well. So I really enjoy this. If you haven't checked them out, they're pretty affordable. I want to say this was around $25. I could be wrong. I will have it linked down below. But I just think it's a really great deal. So I really enjoyed it. I love the way that this look came out. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. If you're new to my channel and you liked what you saw, I hope you stick around and subscribe to my channel. And I think you gotta hit the notification bell, get the notifications, because I don't know when I'm going to be uploading again. I'd like to get on some kind of schedule, but until I have that figured out, just hit that notification bell so you can be notified of my next upload, because I don't know when it will be. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you spending your time with me. And just remember, be your own kind of beautiful. It's makeup and have fun. Till next time, bye!